I like the Fusion. What did you think of it?
I liked it too. You know, I love the Camry, but I still thought the Ford drove nicely.
Yeah, I wasn't let down. And performance-wise, it was definitely smooth and powerful, though I still feel like the Camry had an edge there.
Well, Camry actually has better horsepower numbers, believe it or not.
Even when looking at the Fusion's turbo engine?
Those are the only Fusion engines that beat the Camry 4-cylinder, but Toyota's V6 tops those too. Though Ford does actually offer all-wheel drive on their 2.0-liter EcoBoost engine.
Well, that definitely does help Fusion stand out a bit more. And on a different note, I actually like what Ford has done with the styling, both inside and out.
I agree. And styling aside, I just felt comfortable in the Fusion. We had a decent amount of space up front.
Yeah, it's got a bit more front head and legroom than Camry, but that's only in the front seats. Camry has got it beat in the back.
I know the Fusion is a bit longer in length than the Camry. Maybe that adds the extra room in front?
Well, that could be the case. A longer length could also affect drivability as well.
Speaking of driving, remind me, what are the fuel economy numbers like for Ford?
Well, it depends on the engine, but Camry's 2.5-liter beats the Fusion 2.5-liter, but Ford's other engines have slightly better fuel economy when compared to Camry's V6 engine.
Got it. Well, all that aside, I did want to mention some of the standard features Fusion has. Some good options are included all around.
Agreed. I'm actually somewhat a fan of the Sync with My Ford Touch system. Sync comes standard on all models, but the higher grades can also get My Ford Touch.
I like Sync too, but it can be confusing at times. And I know it hasn't always gotten the best reviews. Also, don't you have to pay for it eventually?
Yep. Usually there's a complimentary trial for a few years, but then it's $60 a year for Sync services.
So it's still no Entune?
Well, definitely not. And you know I love Entune. Navigation, Bluetooth, everything else. I mean, even all the apps on the App Suite are awesome.
And it's subscription free.
That's right. Okay, maybe Ford Sync with My Ford Touch isn't that great.
No, but Fusion overall still has some nice features. The halogen headlights, rear view camera, things like that are nice to have. Though now that I think about it, Camry has those too. Even LED headlights are added to the V6 models.
Yeah, Camry has a lot of features as standard equipment, and it's nice not having to pay extra for a lot of those things. You know, it actually seems like Ford really makes you start shelling out cash if you want to really start adding the cool stuff. Camry just makes a lot of the same things standard instead.
Good point. Speaking of standard and optional features, I know that both vehicles have an optional lane departure alert system. But do you know if Ford does anything like the Star Safety System?
Honestly, nothing really competes with Toyota when it comes to the Star Safety System. I mean, that's a whole suite of stuff. So Camry really wins there.
So where does Ford win for you?
Well, I guess it's nice that it has a little more cargo room, but that's only on the gas models. If someone were to get a hybrid, Camry would win there too.
Okay, so it sounds like we're pretty much on the same page here. Fusion really isn't that different from Camry spec-wise. Sure, it has more engine options, but even Camry is pretty powerful in comparison.
Agreed. The Fusion looks cool, and it does have some great features available, but half of those would have to be added on their own. They don't come standard with all grades, whereas Camry includes many of the same things without making you pay extra.
Yep, and as far as safety goes, Toyota really can't be beat with the Star Safety System, or even with Toyota Care. 2 years or 25,000 miles worth of maintenance, that's a great deal.
Definitely. I think it's pretty apparent that after discussing this in more detail, Camry still wins for me. But I may have to drive a couple other vehicles to be sure. You in?
Let's do it.